But I'll give you a little housekeeping right now on it, and that is the parking. As you know, last week I had said that we could park in the DSS parking lot, so I did get that verified, and that is absolutely fine.
You got that verified from a Department of Social Services employee?
Yes, from a Department of Social Services employee, clarified that once they're done for the day, their parking lot there, it's fine to park in it. You can't loiter in it. You can't, sit around with your trunk open and, tailgate or anything like that. But what you can do is you can go from your car, you can park your car and then walk to the Firestorm Cafe, which is right there. Now, some of you might know that there's 2 parking lots at DSS. One is across the street on the other side of Cox Avenue. And that one is over more toward the where the buses arrive. And the person I talked to said seems to be a little bit safer at the other parking lot. Not that it's unsafe downtown, but there's more lights. So if you want a more lighted area, then oh, look now I'm not iridescent anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, now I'm back to normal. How's that for normal? As normal as I get.
You ready?
So that was my housekeeping about it. It's fine. Now, but right behind Firestorm, there's a street, a little like alley street.
Okay, that's Commerce Avenue.
Yes. And then right behind that, there's some parking, and for some reason, you can't park in that row right there. So go toward you. Everybody knows where DSS is. It's just right.
Well, that's right across
behind.
the from the post office.
It's down a little bit from the post office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Firestorm's down a little bit from, but DSS, isn't that right across from the post office?
No, it's behind Firestorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the post office is on Cox.
A way to put it is, if you're in the Department of Social Services in their parking lot, face away from it, and right in front of you in the distance, you can see the Firestorm Cafe.
Yeah, yeah.
So like both doors you can see each other. That's how.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got lots of parking, so a lot of people can come, and we'll be thrilled to have them, because you know what? We really love to talk to viewers. We love to talk to each other too, because you hadn't noticed. As producers here, we really like to chat with each other too. But it's just fun to meet people and and have that special little time with them. So, as long as what?
As long as they're not weirdos.
As long as they're not weirdos, is that what you say? Well, wait a minute. That just blends in with who we are. What do you mean?
Well,
We wouldn't be allowed to go there.
Why is my hair sticking up right there? There you go.
Is it because I was tuning it in there, and it was like kind of strange.
I didn't know why.
So I'm gonna go back in, and I'm gonna put the flyer up.
Okay, and then you're gonna come out
yeah.
and talk to me. And
Yeah. Well, my camera's still in there too.
Yeah.
So
We
I
can
Ching
go
guy,
in there if we
he's
want.
still
Yeah, he's still, he's almost finished. Are you almost finished?
Yes, I'm setting up the I Ching table.
Okay, setting up the I Ching, listen to me. I Ching table as we talk. Oh, dear. So Lisa, when you get out here, besides talking about the meet and greet, what else is on your agenda to talk about? We had our president talked to the State of the Union this week, and we could talk about that a little bit. A big part of that was the education crisis. And I don't know about some of our viewers, but I was really shocked to hear the statistics about how far down on the totem pole some of our countries are, and we're one of those that I didn't expect to be very far down on the totem pole. But it sounds like we've got a lot of attention on it right now, and it's something that everybody is willing to join together in and make a difference. And I think it's going to take a lot of volunteering. It's funny because as we're talking about this, you're hearing all the information and seeing and reading in the paper about how there's been these budget cuts. And so we're talking about educating our children to the fullest, but yet we're talking about budget cuts in the school system. So I'm a little confused on all that. I mean, how are we going to do this? I think it's going to take people one thing, it's going to take a lot of organization and a lot of people maybe volunteering their time to help out, because, you know, there used to be the teacher and then there would be a student teacher in there helping out, or an assistant teacher, and I think that's probably going to the wayside. And if our classes get larger, then it's a little bit harder to do the one-on-one. One particular daytime show I was watching was saying that, and I think it was the state of Florida, and I found this a little bit interesting. I don't know how all this would work, but is thinking of passing an ordinance or a law where your children grade you as a parent, and you get a report card too. So you and how you are participating in the school, and how well you're doing. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So a lot of things came to my mind when I heard that. One of them was, well, you know, if you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, and it would be difficult. I think what they're talking about is how, as a parent, are you, you know, supporting the school system, not by money, but supporting it by doing what you need to do at home with your child to get them to make sure that they go to school prepared. That is exactly how they put it. So that your child has its homework done, and your child is ready for their classes every morning, and gets there on time, and has wearing the proper, whatever the school whatever the school decides is proper clothing, and all those things, making sure that you as a parent are not sending your child to school unprepared. Now, a lot of parents work, a lot of parents have to probably leave even before their children leave for school. So I think that could be a positive thing in one sense, but then I could see where a lot of, my mic was on the ground. A lot of parents.
We are a professional show.
Yes. It must have fell off and I didn't even notice it. But a lot of parents that might be kind of difficult for, but maybe it's just the awareness. If we were all just a little more aware. It's tough sometimes. You
well, sometimes children. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know until we're taught. And if we're not taught, what we think is norm just might not be.
Right.
So unless we really know what is expected or what we should do, we only do what we're taught.
And I think what we're for us to help with this education crisis that's going on right now, I think more parents are going to have to be involved. The parents that can, the ones that can volunteer, the ones that can, be there.
But that's there again. That's like with everything. I think there might only be like 10% of the people
that
and it's the same. But there again, those 10% are the people who are getting the benefit out of. Because we don't quite understand the service work.
Right.
What it's like to volunteer. I remember way back when I was a teenager, and my mom wanted me to volunteer at the hospital, and it's like, well, do I get paid? And it's like, no, well, then why do I want to do it if I don't get paid? So it wasn't until much later
that you realized. Yeah.
Right. Well, I guess it was the Veterans March that really showed me, what it was like when you volunteer and the service work, that you get something out of it that you can't buy.
Well, yeah, that's right. And what I'm thinking is maybe all of us, because it shocked me, I should have known that the situation that our education schools are in right now, I should have known that, but I was shocked.
Right.
I mean, I watched the State of the Union and was shocked when I heard where we're at on the totem pole. And how that all works. I was so maybe for
well, there's a lot of things that we're shocked because we don't know. We're in our little bubble and we really don't know. And well, I guess we had to get our bubbles popped in order to to really understand what's going on.
Or we need to it was a perfect place to. I mean, if you're watching State of the Union, you're definitely in tune to what's going on. So it was very interesting to me to hear that. But I think it's the involvement again, and as parents sometimes you don't know when to hold and when to fold sometimes with your kids too. I mean, you ask them, did you do your homework? But I'll be quite honest with you, if I had to check a high schooler's, Mark's 11th, we have one in 11th grade, if I had to check some of what they're doing right now, I wouldn't know if
Right.
it was right or wrong.
Right.
So
because they are
it's
so much
changed a
more
lot.
advanced
Yeah,
in
it has
comparison
changed a
to
lot.
what we were taught.
Yeah, I guess it's just
Big
the fact
time.
of saying, you know, this is homework time, show me your homework, and at least you're seeing that they did something. I mean, that's a start.
And there again, what about that show on MTV where it's very risque to people's standards, but they're not considering that that's real life.
What's going on in high school you're talking about? Skin?
Yeah. And it's like, what, you don't want to see what's going on? What, I mean, it might be play acting, but that is reality, what's going on. So what, you're going to bury your head under, the covers and, oh no, I don't want to watch. I don't want to see what it's really like.
Well, I think what part of that, and that's very true, but part of the problem that people are having with this is it's not on HBO, so anybody can get onto it, but they're using, like in a lot of these shows where they're doing that, they're using students or children that are really not children. They're 21 or over, but they look young. They're actually using teenagers, and I think that's part of the issue.
Hey, do me a favor,
that's going on right now.
Can you guys shut the control room door? I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear them? They can't hear us. Hey, Mon, shut the door. Sign language.
Thank you.
Yay!
Yeah. So anyway, so that I think is part of the problem with that show.
Right.
Is that they're using underage children.
No, they're not using underage children.
Yeah.
What, the ones, 15 or something like that?
Yeah. In those other shows that they might be indicating that they're 17, 16, but they're really 21 or over. In a lot of the shows.
Well, because I'm waiting for people to say, oh, well, the moral majority or the moral right or whatever. And it's like, well, what about Snooki? From what I heard, I haven't watched the show, but just from the gossip pertaining to the show, yeah, man, I want to be an alcoholic when I grow up, and this is how I'm going to do it. I mean, not to say that, I'm not grateful I'm an alcoholic, but I could have saved myself a whole lot of pain if I would have known what an alcoholic was. Because it's not glamorous waking up in a trash can. I don't care how glamorous it's thought to be.
Yes, and you know what? I think that part of the big problem is communication, as we all know, that everybody's so busy, but, when Victor said that he was going to watch that show, and I had already heard what was going on.
With Snooki on it?
No, Skin.
Oh, Skin? Okay.
Yeah. I watched it.
Oh, did you watch it?
He did not know I was watching it. It's a weekly.
Okay.
So I watched it. And actually, I put it on the DVR so I could watch it when he wasn't around, and I knew.
Oh, Victor, do you hear that?
And
we keep an eye on you.
I was,
and that's important.
It is important. There were certain things that shocked me that were frightening, but it's an opportunity then to talk to your child.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. And then it's an opportunity to say,
to explain.
Things.
And I mean, a lot of parents, go under the covers about explaining to their children, and then, you're going to complain when they're taught.
Yeah. And I think part of it is just saying to your child, sitting down and saying, so does this go on in your school? Have you seen any of this? Well, his response was, not really. He hadn't seen that extreme. But it's opened up that conversation of where do you start with those conversations? You just don't out of the blue say, oh, by the way, is this going on in your school? Is this going on in your bathrooms? Is this, But then I think it's a good tool in that sense to say, okay, have you ever seen anything like that happen in your school? Or, I mean, it opens up that communication.
You done it,
right.
But have you seen it?
And then again, how crazy are we if we say, you absolutely cannot watch that? I just heard about that and I heard what it's like and you can't watch it. What message are you sending then?